This is Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum.
Well, when you're selling, you got to know who your buyer is, and you got to know how to market to them. I do.
And Dan Keller, mortgage expert with New American Funding.
Hey, rates are important, but strategy matters more than ever.
For the next hour, you'll learn impactful insider information as Christian and Dan teach about the ins and outs of Seattle's real estate market. Now, here's Christian and Dan.
Hello, and happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. I am Christian Nossum with the Awesome Nossum Group at Wilson Realty.
I am Dan Keller, mortgage advisor. Listen, I've got to do this every single show now per
Every
compliance.
time.
Mortgage loan originator at New American Funding. My MLO number is 115349. But hey, it's good to be here. Happy Monday, bro.
Happy Monday.
And happy Monday if you're listening, whether you are in your cubicle.
Yep.
Hey, listen, if you're in your cubicle right now, don't tell your boss. Give us a tweet. Give us a shout out and say, hey, I'm listening to Seattle Real Estate Radio while I'm just hustling and working my tail off at work.
Yep.
Hey, if you're in your car, give us a couple honks. Yeah, why
Hey,
not?
You know what? I think I actually...
No, oh, jeez. Christian's got the soundboard. Bear with us. We're getting this. Like I said, our full-time jobs are originating mortgages. I originate mortgages every single day. You are selling homes. I'm listing homes every single day. We are not radio show hosts.
No, we are not.
We do this because we love what we do, and we've got so much good stuff to share.
Yep.
So
we really just enjoy educating people, getting them up to speed, and making sure that they can make very smart, educated choices when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
Either buying or selling or getting a mortgage.
Yeah. Well, one of the great things, so we're coming up on a year now with the show, and one of the really great things about this show, this thing that we kind of got involved with a year ago, not really knowing, thought it would be a great idea, it'd be a great way to get content that both you and I create, stuff that you and I are seeing in the marketplace. We thought it'd be a great idea or a great way to get that info out to the public.
Yep, keep people informed on what's going on in the market because it changes quite quickly sometimes.
Yeah, that's why we're here every single week. But you know what? Man, we're getting great feedback from listeners.
Yeah.
Great feedback from our past clients that we syndicate the show out to.
Yep.
And we just got the channel, the network is now replaying our Monday broadcasts on Saturdays.
Yeah, so Saturdays, I believe from 5 to 6 p.m., they're rebroadcasting our show because they like us so much.
Well, because so many people have nothing to do on Saturdays from 5 to 6 p.m. Between you and I, it may be a filler, but hey, nonetheless, that's a pretty good honor. It's cool.
Yeah,
so
it's just fun.
Yeah, but we're on a streak right now, Christian. We've had some pretty amazing guests, man.
We really have.
I mean, all of our shows are great, but doggone it, the past few episodes have been great feedback, and in my opinion, have just been spectacular.
We've had some good guests. By the way, if anyone watching on the Skycam here on SeattleRealEstateRadio.com, listening to the podcast, which you can find on iTunes or Stitcher, or if you are listening to us live or our rebroadcast, then or iHeartRadio. I mean, we've got lots of ways you can hear us. If you ever have a guest idea, email us, tweet us, whatever you want to do. Email. Our email is info@SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. Super simple.
Yeah.
Dan and I's contact information is all on that website as well if you want to reach out to us individually.
Yep. Well, we love supporting local small businesses.
Exactly.
We love, and then we love supporting businesses that will add value to our past clients and future clients.
So as a two good segues to that exactly. So previous guest that we had last week actually was Anna from Molbach's.
Yeah.
Molbach's Nursery.
in Woodinville, right?
In Woodinville. Yep. So one of the biggest takeaways I got from that show was there are actually indoor plants that will clean your air.
And we're asking our producer real quick because I've got some notes on the sheet that she just took away.
She stole your sheet.
No, that was huge. That they will. You can actually have plants that come indoors. And, we both have young kids, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It takes toxins out of the airs. And
It takes toxins out of the airs. And it at the airs. I just said airs. Out of the airs. It takes toxins out of the air and replenishes it with fresh oxygen.
So she mentioned
peace lilies, succulents, and something else. Ferns.
Yeah.
Okay, good. At least you remember.
Peace lilies, succulents, and ferns. Yeah, ferns. And, one of the other things that she was mentioning, well, I'm just going to give you just real-time feedback. My wife, Jenny, and I went out, so we were in the market to buy some shrubs.
A lot of shrubs.
So we were going to put hedges all around our front deck and on both sides. And, we needed them about 2.5 feet tall. And she educated us. So, I mean, Jenny was just going to go to Costco because they have them and just buy a ton of them. We went out there and visited with them, and she educated us on the right ones to buy. They're actually boxwoods, and she gave us choices. So we went with her suggestion, which was just a boxwood shrub or the evergreen huckleberry.
Yep.
And we went with the evergreen huckleberry.
Nice.
Yeah. So a little thicker, a little darker than the boxwood, but the Keller Farmhouse now has shrubs or is in the process of getting shrubs all along the front. So
that's gonna look good.
It's gonna look really good.
It's gonna look really, really good when they actually start to kind of
because they got to grow
meld
together.
Yeah, they kind of glue together and make it look like one solid shrub. That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So great
another previous guest.
Yep.
Funny story, not too funny, but kind of funny. Previous guest was Adam from Adam's Moving, Adam French.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how important it is to make sure that whoever you hire to help you move is licensed, bonded, maybe not bonded, licensed and insured and all that good stuff, and that they're good quality movers. Here's a story from a friend of ours they bought a Sub-Zero fridge off of Craigslist. A lady was redoing her kitchen. She hired movers to move. She was going to deliver the Sub-Zero fridge from her house to our friend's house because they were remodeling their kitchen. So they wanted to buy this. The movers were obviously not the best movers because as they're taking the Sub-Zero fridge out of the moving truck and into our friend's house, they dropped it.
Oh.
Busted it.
Busted the Sub-Zero.
Busted the Sub-Zero.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So Sub-Zeros are a little bit heavier than
they are.
Traditional fridge.
They are.
Wow.
But movers should know that, as Adam French would tell you with Adam's Moving. You got to know what you're doing. And you got to know that and set yourself up for success, like we talk about with anything. But so they didn't hire a very good mover. Not our friends. Our friends were just, the lady said, hey, I'll deliver to you. I already have movers in place. So that lady learned a very, very expensive lesson in hiring movers. But that's why it's so important. So Adam's Moving, highly recommend them. If you mention Seattle Real Estate Radio, he said, we'll give you a 5% discount plus $100 in free moving supplies, so boxes, packing material, whatever you need.
Yeah,
so.
like I said, we've had some phenomenal guests on
some really
recently,
good guests,
and we're getting messages from some of our past guests that are getting they're getting business from the show,
which is great.
Referrals from our sphere and from us. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to keep doing this, and we're gonna have a great year. And we're gonna, like I said, if there's a topic that you want to learn more about or hear more about, just hit us up, and we'll go out and we'll get a professional on if we don't already know one.
Yep, but, exactly.
So go ahead.
I was just gonna say today's guest. So we have Blake Garfield from Bedrooms and More. So Bedrooms and More, they're in Wallingford. They've been there for a long time. They're right on 45th.
You ever been in there?
I have. We bought stuff from them before.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a great show.
You want to know how this is
great story,
is awesome.
Yeah.
So you want to know how I found these guys?
Okay.
So I work out in the mornings, and I got Pandora on I'm running on the treadmill, and I hear this commercial on Pandora. So I'm too cheap to pay for the non-commercial version of Pandora.
It's like $10 a month or something.
Whatever.
Still.
I let Jenny have that, but Jenny's got the no commercials. So around the house when we play Pandora, it's her. Anyways. Commercial comes on, and it just basically says, if you're in the market to shop for a mattress, you need to come by this Saturday. We're doing a mattress buyer workshop. We're going to show you how, and I just was sitting here going, I actually straddled the treadmill, stopped running, and had this huge aha. This is exactly what you and I do.
It is exactly what we do.
We do. If you want to buy a home, we're not going to pitch anything. We're not going to pitch us. We're not going to sell you. We host workshops every single month. Every other month.
Yeah.
And we just talk about educate. A through Z. This is what to expect. This is how you do it. And it just cut from the same brand, if you will, of what we do. So reached out to them, and we're just super excited to have them on today. But, hey, before we bring those guys on, we got to talk some real estate because I know it's crazy out there.
You're right, we do.
Welcome to this week's Seattle Real Estate Minute with Christian Nossum.
Thank you, KKOL, for that beautiful introduction.
Like I said, man, we're moving up in the world.
We are moving up in the world. We got some good production value going on here. So my market minute, basically, trying to get you guys up to speed on what is happening exactly in this moment. Live feedback from an expert in the Seattle real estate market. So supply is starting to increase a little. I don't have any stats to back this up, but from my gut feeling with all my clients, stuff's starting to come back on the market slowly. Not a ton, not oversupply for sure, but there's slightly more. And what that means, we're getting a lot more buyers' offers accepted right now. So just last week, we had 3 buyers that got offers accepted, which is huge. Some of these buyers had been waiting for months trying to find a house. So kind of a big deal. So that's a really, really nice thing to see. So as a buyer, you have more of a chance now than you did just even a month ago, which is good to know. And that's not going to reflect in any stats for anything for a good 60 days. So that's what's happening. Another part 2.
Yeah.
As a seller, if you have any homes that you own, if you're a landlord, if you own a home and maybe it's on a busy street or it's got some issues where an older kitchen or an older bathroom or it needs a roof or you got problems with your house, this is your time to sell. I can't say this clearly enough. This is the time where you're going to get the top dollar for your house.
Where maybe some of these higher cost repairs or renovations or things that could stand out in a typical market, where some of these higher cost items are overlooked potentially or covered by a buyer because it's so competitive.
It's so competitive. Buyers are willing to overlook your issues, whether you're on a busy road, whether you need some major remodeling.
A $20,000 roof.
It does not matter right now. This is your time to sell because buyers are willing to overlook it, and they're never, not never, but usually they're not willing to overlook that stuff. So this is a huge opportunity for sellers.
You give a real life example. We have a great client. I'm not gonna name her name, but she's a veteran of the U.S. military. Well, actually, she's active duty. She's working in the armed forces right now. Having the hardest time. She just relocated out from San Diego, sold her house, has a ton of money, more than 20% to put down. She got so fed up, she went to a family member to pay all cash for this home. And she just lost out on a home that you're just talking about, just like that. So, we got a minute left or so, but, give her some insight.
That house, it was in Wedgwood, great location, did not have a kitchen, did not have an upstairs bathroom. They had done a remodel about 5 years ago in the basement where they added a mother-in-law apartment. So it had a super teeny tiny kitchen and bath. It still went for $130,000 over asking,
and you missed out,
and we did not get that.
Wow,
insane! And you had to go all cash. So
brutal.
That's the market right now, folks. If you are looking to sell, this is the time. I can't say it enough. So we got to take a quick break. We're going to be back with Blake from Bedrooms and More. So stay tuned. Seattle Real Estate Radio.
We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
All right, hey, welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio on KKOL 1300. We are here every single Monday, as Christian would say.
Yes, we are.
From 3 to 4.
Yep, and quite often, every Saturday now.
Every Saturday. We've been...
simulcast or whatever they call it.
Yeah, they're just replaying our Monday show on Saturdays from 5 to 6. So, hey, today we have a fantastic guest. I'm just super excited. I'm excited because I kind of was telling you before we went to break, man. I was out for a run one morning, listening to Pandora.
Heard on a treadmill. You told me.
Yep.
You're not out on a run.
Same difference.
You're on a treadmill.
I'd rather be out on a run, but we get a lot of rain.
Yeah,
so,
true. Good point.
Was on the treadmill. Heard this commercial and literally had to stop because I was like, goodness sakes, there's another company out there doing exactly what you and I do. How we've built our businesses, where we educate, we inform. And we just give. It's Gary Vaynerchuk wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. Give, and then you can ask for the sell. And that's what we're doing today with Blake. And he's going to open.
That's kind of what we do with this radio show. Interesting how it all lines up.
Yeah.
So today we have Blake Garfield from Bedrooms and More. And in 1972, his dad started Bedrooms and More in Seattle. It's a specialty sleep store focused on durable, comfortable mattress solutions. Through the years, they've evolved into a unique resource for two-sided flippable mattresses, and we'll tell you why that's a big deal, with natural and organic materials being their main focus. Blake's worked in the company since he was a teenager, and over the last decade, he has been the designer of product, sales manager, and the leader of... Graduated from Lakeside here in Seattle in 99, and then he graduated from UW in 2003. So Blake... Thank you very much. Get real close to that mic because otherwise no one can ever hear you. Thanks very much for coming in today. we appreciate your time, and I think everyone's going to learn something. And that's kind of the whole point of our show. So
that's the point of me being here, I guess.
Exactly. So why don't you tell me just real basics? What is Bedrooms and More? What do you guys sell? What are you guys all about?
Sure. So, like you said, my dad started the store back in the 70s. It was actually as a waterbed store.
Wow, nice.
So, we started as a waterbed store.
Yeah.
We obviously evolved away from that because we're still in business and all.
Do people still make water? I gotta ask. Do they even
they still
exist?
around?
They do, and we actually we pretty much sell something waterbed related every day.
Really?
If we were a
Wow.
waterbed store, we'd be again super out of business. But you also don't want to forget about the people who got you started. I mean, and my
exactly.
dad was
Yeah.
fanatical. I mean, our dog had a heated waterbed.
Wow.
We had a waterbed crib for me and my kids. And my wife and I, when we had our kids, my parents were telling us how amazing it was, just like putting us in the womb, sort of a thing. And my wife's like, my kids will die of SIDS. There's no way we're going to I mean, my dad was goofy about it. And, I mean, to this day, it's still actually a very, very durable sleep solution. I mean, it's got a pretty bad name because there's some pretty bad horror stories that go along with it.
Yeah.
But
I had one.
yeah, and it was a big deal. There
Yeah.
was something like 30 million waterbeds sold in the heyday of waterbeds. It changed the mattress industry. What we see now is a big result of the success of waterbeds, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
And starting in the early 80s, when my dad kind of saw the writing on the wall about the waterbed industry, he started moving to kind of full line bedding, going to mattresses of all different style. And mattresses, then you were buying Sealy or Simmons or Serta, all the big S brands.
Yep.
And we started carrying those, and also started carrying some natural mattresses. And he thought he'd gotten enough calls about these latex mattresses. He's like, well, I should probably put one on display, and when they come in, I'll just sell them a waterbed. Because again, huge believer in those waterbeds. And everybody who came in to see the latex mattress, which was this 6-inch slab of rubber with like a brown and purple floral pattern, it's hideous. They would buy it and they say, I love this. I wish you had blank. And then he'd add another one, and then he'd add another one. And through the years, we kind of became more and more of a natural and organic mattress store, which is a lot of what we do, though it's not all that we do, because we try to cater to all demographics. And so we have from the down and dirty student mattress, because we're right next to UW, up to the really premium all natural mattress, and you got to help everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
So the ultimate goal is to have kind of the best value at any budget. And it sounds really pretty lame to say it that way, but it's kind of a unique thing in the mattress industry, because the average age of beds that we take away from people's houses is about 4 years old, which is just gross.
Wow.
And it's a function of private equity firms buying up mattress companies. So Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic are all owned by one company. Simmons and Serta are owned by one company.
Got it.
And they control such a huge portion of the market share. A lot of them started upholstering only one side of the bed, and that back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And so most beds that people buy nowadays, they can't flip. And so their ruts kind of just get deeper and deeper, and they end up replacing them. And so because we're so reliant on return and referred customers, we stick with just two-sided, and it's worked really well. We've carved out a little niche for ourselves. And
So I got to say, we're big believers of Yelp. We
Sure.
have a ton of people that find us on Yelp.
Sure.
You guys have, I checked last night, 120 5-star Yelp reviews.
Yeah, and
That's
I think we
insane.
have like two-star reviews.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, we worked really hard on those.
Yeah, we know we know how you feel
Yeah.
there.
No,
Some of the
it's-
You try really hard to represent
Yeah.
your family kind of the best way you possibly can.
Yep.
And you can't please everyone apparently. One of the people that gave us a 2-star review, these things
gotta
eat
say-
at me.
Yeah, I know.
obviously.
If you're listening,
yeah.
2-star review person.
So they bought a pillow, and whenever
Yeah.
you buy bedding, we say, you know, you're not stuck with anything you get from us except for bedding, because once you've used it, it's like dirty underwear. You don't return it to someone.
Yeah.
And they used it, and they said, you didn't let me return the pillow. And like, well, we told you couldn't return the pillow. But okay, we're going to give you 100% store credit for the pillow. Keep it and buy another pillow.
Wow.
And so they took us up on it, got a new pillow, and they never took the review down.
Oh,
Just-
my God.
So it's just, they got essentially free product out of it because, you work your hardest to do it. And I probably shouldn't be sharing this with people like, hey,
No, this
take
is
advantage
real.
of me.
No.
I'm right
No,
to
but
be taken
that's-
advantage of.
But
Yeah.
that's what a good business
But
does.
you work your butt off for those 2-star
I
review
know.
people, and you just,
Yep.
I tried.
I know. We hear you. We've been there.
Anyway,
have
we work
definitely
hard
done.
for those reviews.
Yeah, no, but it's true, and it just shows that if you treat your customers right, if you are all about education, if your best interest is their best interest,
Yeah.
everyone's going to be happy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you guys are doing. So, you guys, so the big thing is flippable mattresses, and that's, I want to kind of touch on this because I did not realize this, and it is a big deal. I realize this now. So what is a flippable mattress? It's pretty self-explanatory, but explain why it's such a big deal.
Well, there's no magic mattress material that's not going to change over time.
Yeah.
I mean, gravity always wins.
Yep.
And if you are in a situation where your bed is only upholstered on one side, you can kind of turn the bed head to foot, but your hips still kind of fall in the same spot.
much
You can
the
try
same
and
spot, yeah.
work your way to the middle of the bed or to the edge of the bed, but you still end up kind of being a creature of habit, and you end up in the same spot. And where you're the heaviest, between basically the top of your knees and the bottom of your shoulders, you're going to sink down more.
Yeah.
And if you can't distribute the wear over both sides of the bed, you're essentially buying half of a mattress. And the life expectancy of a one-sided bed is, well, like I said, the average age is about 4 years that we take away from people's houses with the one-sided, and it's about 12 to 15 for the two-sided beds.
Wow.
And there are some that are going to be significantly more durable than that, again, depending on what materials you choose. And that's why we try and educate the consumer as best as we can.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and I'm in for some of that education. So we have a pillow top. Obviously, it's just one-sided. And I do the whole flipperoonie every
head to toe.
Head to
Is it
toe.
a king size?
Yeah, it's a big dog.
Do the 90-degree turn.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
But here's the thing: is it a
not square.
California? It's not square.
It's not square, but it's close enough that
okay.
if for 2 weeks every 3 months or so,
You're not going to notice that
you're going
much.
to kind of distribute the wear
There
a
you
little
go.
bit better. And you're
Well, better than that.
You're
How about I
ridged
just
down
come
the
and see
middle.
you and we buy you a
Right.
mattress? I think,
Sure.
seriously, I think well, I've been married for, goodness sake, it's 12, 13 years old.
Wow.
So,
you got way more out of a one-sided bed
Yeah.
than pretty much anyone I've ever heard of.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
and
have
I know,
an iron
know,
back, I guess.
Well, yeah.
You
I
just
don't-
told me that someone's working out a little more at the house, and they might appreciate a better bed.
I think she would. Yeah.
Yeah.
The bar class that she's going to.
Yeah.
And how it affects your night's sleep and
It affects everything.
Yeah, we believe in both Jenny and I believe in chiropractics and stuff like that too, keeping your spine aligned. So I'm sure bedding, mattress plays into that.
We have a lot of chiropractors who get so frustrated with their clients that they just say,
Yeah.
look, I'm working hard on your back, and every night you go to sleep, you undo what I
Yeah,
just did.
yeah.
Yep.
Go get a new bed. Go get a new bed. And,
Yeah.
we've got a really big referral base
Yeah.
because we obviously do a good job. And so people will send friends in or they'll send
yeah.
clients in because they know they're going to get something that's not going to get saggy fast.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, as far as, let's bring it back to kind of what's going on in your market right now. What are you
Sure.
seeing trend-wise? What's popular as far as either bed frames or mattresses?
Bed frames, upholstery has been a pretty big deal lately. My wife is just all about all the stuff that she sees on Pinterest and House and all those sites, and she gets super into it. I cannot stand them personally, but
Yep.
Are you talking about the upholstered, headboard and all that?
padded headboards and when
guilty.
you have a 2 and a 4-year-old like I do,
Yeah.
you know how long that's going to last?
Or a
Exactly.
cat?
Until a Sharpie or a
Yeah.
knife
Something
makes it
gets
into
to it,
there,
yeah.
which is apparently a thing that kids do. And the other thing is things that look kind of distressed. So they're either reclaimed look or live edge look or kind of raked look, which is again super trendy right now in bed frames. As far as mattresses, it depends on what niche of the market you're looking at.
Yeah.
Memory foam and gel memory foam is super popular. I feel bad for people who buy them, but it's, again, very, very well marketed. And natural and organic has become a bigger deal. The more people are learning about fire retardants, learning about off-gassing, chemical leaching, the more they want to kind of put a clean
Remove
home
that,
together.
yeah.
I find it funny that so many people go out and they'll buy organic produce and organic meats, and then they'll end up going home and sleeping on a synthetic mattress. That's going to off-gas, and they're just like...
And they're breathing it in. 'Cause
Right,
they're
for 8 hours instead
3
of what
inches away from it.
So that's become a much bigger deal, and that's been one of the big reasons that our business has grown quite a bit over the last decade. I mean, we've become a bigger deal, and kind of the mainstream is catching up with us, I guess.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And you're making me rethink and want to look at our mattress and figure out what the heck we have.
Oh,
because I don't even remember.
Yeah.
My scare tactics are amazing.
Well, you could run for political office. No.
Well, we were talking over the
Never mind.
Well, over the break, we were talking about a lot of the millennials that are coming into the marketplace, and we're getting a lot of people that are relocating from California,
Sure.
and relocating to the area, and they're, hey, this is good information for them to have.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we're got to take a break, but when we get back, I can't wait to dive into this a little deeper.
Yes, we're going to go a little more, not so much 101 level, but we're going to go next level on some of these questions. So stay tuned. Seattle Real Estate Radio right after the break.
We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. We are back with Blake Garfield of Bedrooms and More. I can't say that for some reason.
Yeah.
Bedrooms and More. They're in Wallingford. They're about a block and a half away from Dick's. Everyone knows where Dick's is at there. They're right on the corner on the north end or north side of 45th.
Nice.
Very good location. Not far from Wine World, which
Wine World is not open, by the way.
is
What?
not open.
No,
Whoa.
they'll be open again, hopefully. But
They're still out, huh?
yeah.
So I heard they didn't have their liquor license.
Yeah, that's apparently
correctly.
a thing.
Yeah, you apparently
you have
need
to pay
that.
the government to be able to sell
Yeah.
alcohol. It's strange how that works.
Weird.
But and we're actually building a new building across the street from that.
Oh, right
So-
on the corner there.
Right on that
That's
corner.
you guys, huh?
That is us.
Cool.
It's just 6 years in the making, apparently.
Yeah.
When you have a lot of family members working in a business,
Yeah.
many opinions and all.
Takes a while.
Well, speaking of family members, that's why we have you here. You guys are local, you're locally owned, you're family owned and operated. Listen, the biggest thing, Christian, you and I deal with this all the time. Let's talk about mortgage, for example. The Quickens, the Wells, the big brands.
Yep,
I don't want to
Bank
give
of
any shouts out to
America.
people that don't deserve them, but the bigger brands that you hear, the big four banks,
Yep.
I'm going to say Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase Bank, U.S. Bank, the Quicken Loans, the easy choice if you don't know what you're doing to go with. And it's the same thing in your industry. The easy choice would be the internet, the big brands, the Sears, the whatever, because you don't know.
Even the new startup, buy a mattress directly from the company and have it delivered right to your
Well,
door.
They'll roll pack it for you.
Yeah,
right?
they'll roll
Yep.
pack it. Yeah. Ooh.
Well, but that's why we're here today, is to kind of unpack some of these myths where, gosh, first off, we love supporting local businesses, but talk to us briefly about the difference between, so you're not bringing in, you said the big S's, the big brands, and just reselling these. You actually manufacture.
or have a part of that process.
Right. So over the years, we've kind of evolved away from carrying anything that's off the shelf because the things that are off the shelf are kind of designed to become obsolete pretty quickly. That's why
They
the
want you to spend
one-sided
more money.
Well, what happened when they went to one-sided beds as a main kind of focus of the industry is it reduced the cycle on which people rebuy mattresses.
Yep.
And it took the mattress industry from being the third largest portion of the home furnishings industry to number one 3 times over
Wow.
by reducing that cycle on which people have to rebuy. And
Makes
so
sense.
if you're buying a mattress every 4 years instead of every 15 years or 20 years, someone's making more money.
Yep,
exactly.
And what they did is they reduced the cost to build it. So by upholstering just one side, it costs less to make it.
Yep.
And
So
so if I
profits
wanted
wins.
to buy something off the shelf that was garbage, I could do that. But instead, what I do is I work with, smaller scale manufacturers or contract manufacturers. So the people who make Restonic mattresses or something, they build me mattresses. They don't say Restonic on them because, they can make 650 mattresses in a day, and I can make 50.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the efficiency of scale is
Yep.
valuable, and
Yep.
so I just say these are the specs that I want you to build for me. Build me them. So essentially, I'm renting machine time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I can design mattresses that if somebody's terrible at maintenance and they're not going to rotate and they're not going to flip their bed, I'm still not going to hear from them in a negative way.
Yeah.
I mean, I design beds in the worst way to the lowest common denominator.
Yep.
If somebody's great at maintenance, they're going to get even more benefit. But if they're terrible, they're still getting a lot more benefit than they'd get from a one-sided bed.
I tend to forget to do stuff like that. So Thank you for making it idiot-proof.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, Christian, you and I talk about this all the time. It's not necessarily making it idiot, to call us idiots. We don't want to offend anybody on air, but no, what we've had sales.
I'm offending myself.
You're offending yourself.
That's okay.
But what we try to say all the time is, and again, not to offend anybody, but dummy it down. I need things to be dummied down. Our clients.
Well,
we want it at the lowest, like you said, lowest common denominator.
We have limited time. I mean, your time is a big resource, and trying to filter through all the information, the marketing, the information, the misinformation. It's challenging. I mean, I love that you guys do something like this. That's what we do with our How to Shop for a Mattress class. I mean, the whole point is to take all of that and pin it down in a non-sales environment and say, here's the information. Make an educated choice.
And that is exactly what we do with real estate, both on the mortgage and the purchasing and sales side. I mean, that's exactly what we do. We get rid of all the crap, and we tell you exactly what you need to know, and then you can make your own choice. You make an educated choice.
Out of thousands of transactions or selling thousands of mattresses, when somebody goes through that process, these are the common questions. Hey, when we lose sales, we lose customers or sales because of this. So let's address it now, because when you're passionate about a product like you guys are, obviously you have a part in the manufacturing of these mattresses. And when you're that passionate about it and you see somebody go to your competitor, a big competitor, and at the end of the day, it's not the best thing for them. It eats you up. I know it does.
So you can help so many people. I mean, it's you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And the marketing is so powerful in our industry. I mean, there's obviously a lot of money to be made in our industry because there are people spending a ton of money on marketing. And I don't fault people for making that mistake. The thing is that people will buy a one-sided mattress once. They might even buy one twice, thinking the first one they got was a lemon, but the third time, they're gonna make it to me. And they're gonna make that educated purchase, and that's fine with me. I try and reach as many people as I can with the first one.
time.
But I have a limited budget. We're one store,
exactly.
And marketing is expensive, and so you pick and choose your battles, and you say, okay, I'm going to help as many people as I can, and as long as they keep telling their friends, I'll help more.
So why don't you tell us about your How to Buy a Mattress class then real quick?
Well, sure.
Well, I was going to say, hold on, real quick. I was going to say that. So regardless of him coming on the show, I heard your ad.
Sure.
Totally got me because I love the approach you take. So we're in the market to buy a mattress.
Right.
Tell us how to buy a mattress, like Christian said, but I'm a customer right now. Walk us through that process in a couple of minutes, not the whole hour. But.
The class is about 40 minutes. So I'll give you two little tidbits. What the ultimate goal is to demystify the process. And so you take the mattress materials, which there's really a short list of materials. I mean, you either have plastic foam or rubber foam, and you have coils or no coils. And then you have batting materials. And if you want to say, okay, this is how long those materials are going to last. Now, if you know that and you look at the spec sheet of a mattress, you can guess roughly how long you're going to be able to keep it because that's how long it'll be comfortable.
Gotcha.
And coils, it takes 2 million compressions for a heat-tempered coil to lose its feel. You're not going to have that be the part of the bed that fails. It's always the soft foams or the fibers. So plastic foams like memory foam, polyurethane foams, it can be up to 20% soil, so they're called soy foam or plant-based foam. Those foams are going to break down about 20% every 5 years. So if you have 5 inches of foam, 5 years down the road, if you'd never rotated or flipped the bed, you'll have about an inch of sag.
Wow.
You can basically set your watch to it. And if you have a really heavyweight one, it'll be a little bit more durable. If you have a really lightweight one, it's actually going to wear out faster than that. And batting materials, like if you've ever had a futon mattress or something, it's going to compress about half. So keep the batting to a minimum because that's going to give you a big divot. And so it's simple. You rotate, you flip a bed, good. If you have a rubber foam, like where it's tree rubber latex, a 6-inch core over 30 years will compress about 1/8 of an inch.
Wow.
So that's one of those
Much
idiot-proof
longer.
materials that I love to use.
Yeah.
But it costs more to produce, so you have to weigh the cost versus benefit. If you're great at maintenance and you have plastic foam, good for you. You're going to be
good.
well. If you're terrible at maintenance and you want to have it still be comfortable for a long time, do the latex foam. Or if you want to do something where there's no chemical smell. So plastic foams have off-gassing. Rubber foams, if it's tree rubber latex, doesn't have off-gassing, so non-toxic. And then other things that people care about are motion transfer, heat issues. When it comes to heat issues, skip the gimmicks. Gel foam was a gimmick in the waterbed era. It's a gimmick now. It's just it comes in cycles. if you're worried about temperature regulation, focus on the bedding. Wool bedding will reduce tossing and turning. Phenomenal.
Okay.
People who have a wool mattress pad and a wool comforter toss and turn 75% less than people with polyester or
Okay,
down.
say that again.
So it's a big
Wow,
So
I
what
did
was
not
that?
know that.
Wool bedding.
Wool.
There's a German sleep study done that shows that people who have a wool mattress pad and a wool comforter toss and turn 75% less than people
Holy
with the polyester
cow.
fiber fill. Or
Guess what
down.
we're buying?
Right.
Oh, never mind. She's allergic to wool. We
You
won't
can do
be
that
good.
instead. Do it with a silk fill on a comforter, and on a mattress pad, you can do it with like a bamboo fill, like the rayon derived from bamboo. That would work pretty well. Though machine washability on that's kind of tough, so you might just do a polyester cotton one and just replace the comforter. And tough cookies, you can't have wool.
So wool bedding improves your sleep by 70%, or what did you say it does?
Your
What's
toss
the
and
stats?
turn 75. So the people who are fanning the
Less.
covers, sticking a leg out, pulling
Yeah,
a leg
yeah.
back in,
Toss and
that's
turn
because
less.
you're trying to keep yourself even temperature-wise, because your body temperature kind
Yep.
of goes like a sine curve,
Yep.
and you're trying to regulate that yourself. Wool will do it for you
that's
because
important
it
to know.
pulls the moisture away from your body,
Wow.
evaporates away from your
Okay.
skin. What else? Oh, and then motion transfer. You can do that with different types of coil, like individually wrapped coils, or if you have no coils and you did like an all latex mattress, then you'll have less motion.
So is that one commercial where you see a glass of wine on one side of the bed, a guy dropping a bowling ball? Is that the motion transfer?
Conceptually,
type?
yes.
Okay. So what kind of a mattress is that?
Conceptually.
That one was a pocket coil bed.
Pocket coil bed.
So individually wrapped
Okay.
coils. You'll have even less motion transfer if you did like an all latex bed.
Okay.
But
So if I come into you and I say, so this is relevant to Jenny and I don't really necessarily care about that because she's not bouncing around over there and I'm not bouncing. We're not heavy
Sure.
sleepers, I guess, or whatever. So we have a pillow top mattress right
Right.
now. We like it because it's comfortable. Feels like you're sleeping on pillows.
sure.
What would you suggest for us if we came into your store?
So I offer 3 main pieces of advice when people are narrowing down options, and I try and keep it concise. And these are somewhat contradictory. They're meant to start a conversation and
Okay.
make you, like, kind of force
Figure
you
it
to be
out.
analytical.
Yeah.
But the more extreme the change you make from what you're sleeping on now,
Yep.
the harder it's going to be for your body to adjust. So
Okay.
if you want to go softer, baby step it. If you want to go firmer,
Okay.
go slightly firmer. Don't go
Okay.
to the firmest bed in the store or the soft bed in the
Okay.
store, because that's going to be a pretty harsh transition.
Okay.
Second is, if there's a doubt in your mind about whether something will be firm enough or not, err on the side of firm.
Okay.
You can always add more and make a firm bed softer,
Sure.
but you
Got
can't generally make
Got it.
soft beds firmer. There are some exceptions to that, but generally. And then the last one is, when people are on beds that aren't flat anymore, and people generally wait a year or two too long to replace their bed, avoid the tendency to, or the kind of the temptation to get something that's too hard. Don't associate hard with supportive when just being on something that's flat can make all the difference.
Got it.
Because people are trying to climb out of that crater and
Yeah.
they're thinking, oh, we need something firm
Yeah.
and supportive, when it's just being flat makes all
Very
the
good.
difference.
Okay. Well, listen, we got to talk a little about your. I want to talk a little about your business, or Christian does. So
Actually, I'm just going to do this little thing right
I
here.
love it.
Hi, it's Garfield from Bedrooms and More in Seattle, here to tell you about another way to shop for a mattress. After hearing so many people complain they would rather go shopping for a used car than shop for a new mattress, we created a great resource for anyone wanting to learn about beds without the pressure of a salesperson. HowToShopForAmattress.com is both a website and a class. Every Saturday morning at 9:30, Bedrooms and More teaches people how to select the right mattress.
Boom.
That's awesome. Perfect
That is
timing
awesome.
too.
I know,
Jeez, we
you
couldn't
see
have
how
done
I
it better.
set that up?
So when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more. You and I, we're going to
Yeah.
recap. We're going to talk to Blake over the break. He's got to get back to the shop. Great having you, man. This is great. I encourage everybody to head out, look him up online.
Bedrooms and More in Wallingford
That's it.
on 45th. So stay tuned to Seattle Real Estate Radio right after the break.
We're back with more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts, Christian Nossum and Dan Keller.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to Seattle Real Estate Radio here on KKOL 1300 AM. That was
Yeah.
pretty damn awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry for my language, but I'm not really sorry.
Yeah,
That was good.
informative.
Very
yeah.
informative, and he knows a ton about beds. I had no clue that the mattress market was such a, what do you call it? A profit machine and not real reliable. In
Not real
terms of-
reliable. Well, it's like anything corporate, like he said. Anything, whether you're dealing with mortgage, whether you're dealing with real estate. I mean, just look what corporate real estate has done. We have a local, and look at the reputation. You know what I'm saying? Versus somebody that is personalized. Someone that's here, that's a specialist. It is with anything, man.
Yep.
So
that's kind of who we are. That's who we attract on the show.
Yep.
That's what we're all about promoting.
I had no idea though that it was that
I didn't either.
bad in their. When you think of those big brands like Sealy and those, whatever, the Sertas and all that stuff, you think of big brands. We're brainwashed because of the ads
And the other thing, so the thing that we didn't really get into too much with him on air, so I know a lot of millennials are going to be watching this because that's who we attract on the, not necessarily live on the air, but on iHeartRadio, on our podcast, and on the videos. Don't be sucked into the Caspers or whatever the other online bed deal is. Kind of what he was telling us off air, because we were talking about that, because I'm interested in it, because that's what's kind of hot on social media and what everyone's doing. He said those things are going to break down in like 6 months, and it's not going to be that comfortable, and they're super expensive. They're like $600 to $1,200 for something that you could really buy for $100. He could sell you something, not that it carries it, but he could sell you something comparable for $100. Don't do it. Don't buy into the marketing. There's a lot of money to be made in that industry, and there's a lot of not so great products. So I didn't realize that beds had gone from the double-sided that you can flip, because I always heard you were supposed to flip your mattress. And then, I thought about flipping our mattress. I realized we have a single-sided mattress. I was like, you can't flip this. And that's why we're starting to get those divots and whatever in our bed after, we haven't had it that long, maybe 4 or 5 years. And I've thought about, maybe we do need a new bed.
Yeah.
And he's spot on. They usually last about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes sense that as someone that's a small business, his niche, he's got it dialed in. He knows the ins and outs of mattresses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bedrooms and More, family-owned and operated since 1972. Like I said, what really attracted me to them was the fact that you can go on Saturdays and learn from them. And they're much like us. They're not salesy. They're not pushy. They're going to educate you. So this Saturday morning from 9:30 to 10:15. Bedrooms and More. You can go every Saturday. They're there.
Look them up online, Bedrooms and More.
One of the things I asked him as he was leaving the studio was, what if we're going to go to that? What would you advise somebody who thinks they're going to attend? What would you advise them to bring? And he said most people just come with either they have a mattress they're sleeping on. Most people aren't sleeping on floors, so they have a mattress. So what you like, what you don't like, and bring a notepad. Take some notes.
Yeah.
You can stick around after the workshop to test out a couple of mattresses, but. I love it. It's a part of their website, and it's how to shop for a mattress. It's like what we do, how to buy a home in Seattle. It's really how to shop for a mattress in Seattle, how to do it right, and they believe in education just like we do. So it was a great show.
The other thing, and this is what I always do with our guests, is I ask them if, and they're not a store that generally has sales or overprices things just so they can knock the price down to make it seem like you're getting a big discount. Yeah. They don't normally do discounts. They said that they would for us because they thought it was such a good opportunity to come on the show and share what they know. Yeah. So just real quick, if anybody's interested, you can get $50 off any queen or king botanical latex core mattress. Or if you're looking for a crib or twin or full-size mattress, you can get $25 off any crib, twin, full, natural kids mattress. Or they also sell bedding, like he was talking about, and wool apparently is the bedding to do if you're not allergic to it. Unfortunately, my wife is.
Well, what was that stat?
75. You
reduce
tossing and turning by 75% by having wool bedding.
Yeah,
because
a wool mattress and wool bedding.
Yeah, because not necessarily mattress. I think it was the mattress pad or because wool automatically helps your body control heat evenly. So you're not having to stick your leg out because you're too hot or anything like that. Yeah. So they're offering $10 off every $100 you spend on bedding. Great. So you spend $250, $300, you're going to get $30 off.
That's awesome.
So nice gesture on their part because they don't normally do that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a sales thing. That's really, truly, they just don't do that.
Well, we asked him. We asked him point blank, hey, would you guys be interested in offering a discount for our listeners? And he was like, honestly, we don't really offer discounts because we don't price it up to price it down for a deal.
Exactly.
And I like that. I respect that.
I do too.
I respect the fact that they're local. I respect that because we know what goes into small businesses and they manufacture. So Hey, great show. Another great guest. So listen, go to their website, bedroomsandmore.com. Scroll down to the bottom and click on how to shop for a mattress in Seattle, or it's up in the header. And click on that so you can see what it's all about. You can actually see the owner, his Blake's dad, in a short video that really talks about the company and what they do and their passion for helping people buy a mattress, and explains why is mattress shopping so important.
Yeah. So real quick, or next up, I should say, we got Dan's Mortgage Minute.
Welcome to this week's Mortgage Minute with Dan Keller.
Well, I got to start off by introducing myself and do the compliance portion. Hey, I'm a mortgage loan originator. My name is Dan Keller. I am a mortgage loan officer at New American Funding, and my MLO number is 115349. I wonder if we could plug that into...
We probably should.
We need to have the station plug it in, so I don't have to say it and sound like a goofball every single time. But I'm not used to be honest with you, man. I hand out my business card, it's all on there, and I'm not used to introducing myself like that. But we got to stay compliant because we're on the air, and listeners may not know who I am. And
exactly.
So here's the deal: the market's kind of we're seeing it kind of level out. We saw rates really improve there for right after the new year for a good month or so. It's leveled out. A couple of weeks ago, unfortunately, we've had some things that have happened in the news with some terrorist activity, and I talk about this a lot. I'm not a economist. I would never even pretend to be or dabble in that. But what I do is I study economic data, which helps me better advise my clients. So I normally don't have to get too deep into that. Same thing with financial planning. I know enough to be dangerous, but when it gets deeper than where we need to be traveling, I refer a great resource that we know. So here's the deal right now. Anytime, and keep your eyes and ears open for this. Anytime we see global, and this is not just bad things that may happen in Seattle or Washington or California, a tsunami overseas, terrorist activity overseas, like we heard and saw in Brussels, affects the stock market. So those are things I really want. Any negative activity like that will typically cause investors to pull money out of stocks, thus putting them over in the bond market, which helps improve mortgage interest rates, okay? So notice that for now. That's kind of what we're seeing right now. The second thing with that is I want to focus on Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen is the Fed chairwoman. I put something out on Twitter and on Facebook the other day, but I'm serious when I say this. She is one of the most powerful people in the whole entire world. It's not powerful women in the whole entire, one of the most powerful people in the whole entire in the whole entire world. When Janet Yellen speaks, financial markets move.
Yep, they respond.
They respond
to whatever she says.
And sometimes
or
it's not.
Say.
Yes, it's not even whatever it's what she didn't say.
Yep.
And so basically, she came out a week and a half ago, a couple weeks ago, and at the beginning of the year, there was news that the Fed was going to raise the Fed funds rate. Everybody knew that. Investors were just holding their breath on it.
Yep.
And it happened, and she raised the Fed funds rate by a quarter. It wasn't because the economy was doing great. She was forced into doing it. And now you've seen from her past couple of months' statements, it wasn't a mistake, but the economy's not ready for a higher Fed funds rate right now. And
so
it's staying put, and she basically, if you read between the lines and listen to what she had to say, is basically said in 2016, there's really no plans. Unless something drastically changes. But the economic data that we're seeing, these reports that are released weekly,
they're not showing that.
They're not showing that.
Yeah.
And, the things, the reports to watch are the GDP, the Gross Domestic Product Report. Keep your eyes and ears open for stuff like that. And then just global news. Negative global news is going to impact interest rates. So that's really all I got for now on the Mortgage Minute.
The mortgage 4 or 5 minutes. That's what we like to call it. And my real estate 4 or 5 minutes as well. So we're both in the same.
Passionate.
We can talk all day, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, that was a great show. Bedrooms and More was a fantastic guest. I appreciate them coming on. Stay tuned next week, Monday, from 3 to 4 here on KKOL 1300 AM. Thank you for listening. Visit SeattleRealEstateRadio.com.
Contact the show, or for more information, visit SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. That's SeattleRealEstateRadio.com. And be sure to tune in again next Monday at 3 for more Seattle Real Estate Radio with your hosts Christian Nossum and Dan Keller, right here on Business Radio 1300 KKOL.